win, David. If you look at our race ratings, he has to carry every single one of these gray states. Those are the pure toss-ups. And even if he does that, so even if he wins every single one of these states, he comes up short of the 270 he needs. So he's got to find a way to win someplace that favors Democrats.
And you and I have been talking about that. He's got to flip something blue in a major state, nonetheless.
Absolutely. And I think that the one state to watch from a Trump perspective on that, the one that he has the best chance of flipping, would be the state of Michigan. This is a place that both campaigns spent time in the final days. It's a state that hasn't voted Republican since 1988. He has led in no public poll since the conventions, but this is the state that if he can turn blue, and they believe he's got the best chance, can turn red, then look what happens. He gets to 264. He still needs to, North Carolina as well, gets 279.
That would finally get him there, but that's a lot he has to accomplish tonight.
Run the table on the toss-up states and pull off a state that he's been an underdog the entire campaign.
But you heard him into the wee hours of the morning. He's convinced he can do it. So let's get out to the battleground states here tonight. John, first up, Florida, a state that could determine the winner, and one that has seen record early voting already. Millions more at the polls today. ABC's Paula Ferris on the ground in Coral Gables tonight. Paula.
And David, polling stations like this will be closing shortly, but they have been sparse all day. That's because half the state participated in early voting, 6.4 million. Just to put that in context, that's more than the total vote in Florida back in 2000. But digging into those early votes, Democrats traditionally have an edge over registered Republicans. Right now, they have a slight edge, but no one knows where those 1.2 million independents are going to skew. Hillary Clinton's campaign telling ABC News they feel that it's going to lean heavily Hispanic, thus giving her campaign the edge. But David, just to give you a sense of how important Florida is to both campaigns, they visited the Sunshine State more than any other state in the final month. David?
Yeah, many have said if Hillary Clinton wins in Florida, it's lights out for tonight. Donald Trump needs Florida. And as John Carl pointed out, so many other of those swing states right there on the map. North Carolina is also pivotal tonight. Another very close race, also an early voting state, and one where the African-American vote helped elect Barack Obama in 2008. He won there by a sliver and then lost to Mitt Romney 4 years later. ABC's Lindsay Davis is in Raleigh tonight on North Carolina. Lindsay.
David, voter traffic is once again starting to pick up here in Raleigh, North Carolina. According to the most recent poll here in North Carolina, Trump and Clinton are tied neck and neck. It's all going to come down to voter turnout. More than half of the registered voters here in North Carolina voted early. About 42% of them registered Democrats, about 32% of them registered Republicans. Now, what helped President Obama to eke out a victory in North Carolina in 2008 was the extremely high voter turnout. But then he lost in 2012. And based on what we're hearing as far as early voting here in North Carolina this year, we're talking about 9 points lower as far as black voter turnout than in 2012. David?
Which is why Hillary Clinton, the president and first lady, were right there in Pennsylvania last night. And that's where we're going to take you next. Known as Hillary Clinton's firewall, the Keystone State. But there are two Pennsylvanias. And ABC's Deborah Roberts is in the western part of the state tonight in the city of Johnstown. Deborah.
David, this state has gone Democratic in the last 6 elections, but Donald Trump is hoping to pull off a surprise here. We're at a polling place in Cambria County, once the steel mill capital of the world. But with unemployment here higher than the national average, this is Trump territory. Kind of a tale of two Pennsylvanias, with large swaths of red and blue when you look at Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, where last night Hillary Clinton urged her base to get out the vote, saying everyone in Philadelphia lives within 5 blocks of their polling place. Pennsylvania in play tonight. David?
No question about that. Deborah Roberts in Pennsylvania for us. Deb, thanks so much. And next to Michigan this evening, and as we said, to win, Donald Trump must turn one of the blue states red, and Michigan is one of those states that John Carl circled right here on the board. He's convinced he can turn Michigan. His running mate and family visiting regularly over the final days of this campaign. Clinton and her surrogates, including the president, also in Michigan in the final 24 hours before Election Day. And ABC's David Curley comes to us from Detroit tonight. David, to you.
Good evening, David. The question tonight, will the blue firewall of Hillary Clinton crack here in Michigan? This is normally a Democratic state, but as voters are coming to the polls tonight, there are questions of whether or not that firewall can be broken. So important that both candidates were here in the past 24 hours. In fact, Donald Trump was here early this morning trying to break through in this state, targeting the voters he's been looking for throughout the campaign. Hillary Clinton sent President Obama in the past 24 hours to remind voters of his support for the auto industry during the Great Recession. The big question tonight is turnout. Can Donald Trump turn out enough voters to turn this state to a color other than blue? David?
David Curley standing by in Michigan for us. David, thanks to you. And there is still much more ahead on this special edition of World News Tonight. Hillary Clinton and the moment on her plane frozen in time. Take a look. Bill Clinton, the campaign staff, Hillary Clinton and Bon Jovi, what had everyone suddenly stuck in place, and the message they were hoping to send in the final hours of this campaign. And then Ivanka Trump's mother,